So check this out. This has been some time coming. We're really starting to get somewhere now. So this might not be that impressive to some of you, but what we have here now is a full accent system in Avalonia. And importantly, I've made it really clean, really simple, fully overridable in your custom themes, having inheritance at the top level and spinning down. We've got now, as well as accents, we have lighter and darker shades automatically calculated. And all this, wait till you see how clean it is now in the back end. That's the important thing, is we don't want any extra fluff. So this is now really starting to take shape. First, here's the good old button spinner page. And you'll notice, well, we'll go through quite a few things, but if we scroll down to see how this magic is done, we can see here in the preview section. So this is the problem. I've moved my head from the left to the right, and now I'm in the way of the code, not the previewer. So with a bit of movie magic, I'm now the other side. What we have on here is the previewer, and you can see the right spinner, which is this, is plain Jane, so is the left. But then we get to this accent. And you'll notice here now, we spoke about this in the last lesson, I wanted a way to kind of define accents, but then the variations like primary, warning, success, destructive, as well as even more complicated, you add in your own custom accents as well. So this has taken a long while and a lot of iterations, but again, we're here with this super clean XAML now. So take a look at this. We have the classes of accent, which defines that this specific element wants to be an accent. Now, it doesn't necessarily style it yet. This is a declaration that this class is saying this control wants to be accented. Then on top of that, we now have this theme colon carrying on the same style as before. You'll see we have drop downs for accent and theme accent. In the accent, we can now do kind, and this comes from then you'll see this AccentKind, which is a generated class importantly, so you can completely override this. And we have the full IntelliSense to specify which kind. You can see in here all about the IntelliSense. This is now completely normal. We can change this to something different, say destructive. And you can see the accent warning has gone destructive. If we go to success, it's changed to success. And that might not be that impressive if you think I've made a button spinner that is aware of every single style that we have in a theme. Well, it isn't. So if we take a look further down and we get to the styles of the button spinner, you'll see here are the styles as normal. And then interestingly, when we get to accent, look at this. We haven't added a single line. That is every single accent style, exactly as I promised. We declare only once what the accent will do. And we say on here, the accent wants a foreground brush of accent brush, and so does the border. That means the text and the border want to be styled in an accent. Now, it hasn't specified anywhere the color of accent. That's the magic. Then on hover effect, we have an accent brush, and we have this new IntelliSense. And this gives us the ability then to have both light and dark variants, hover variants, and pressed variants, as well as the base color. And again, none of this is actually a specific color yet. That magic comes from then simply overriding this kind here. So that means any control we now make, we have to define accent colors only once, and then everything else just works. So for example, if we took the accent color here and changed it from the default accent brush, and this is on here, and we said dark 1. That's a bit hard to see. Let's do dark 3. And now look at this one here. See how now the text and the border have gone dark? If we remove that, see how now the text is light and the border is dark? So not only do we have the accents and the colors, we have variations of every color to make them lighter or darker as well, all for free. And say we wanted to change all of these buttons in one go, and instead, let's go, the background wants to be the accent color. And now look at that. All of the classes and everything else style based on that one property. So this accent brush is a magic variable that, thanks to, again, my source generator, the Angel 6 Theme Lab source generator, it can pull and auto-generate all of these. All that means for us is when we come to style any element now, we can make use of this theme accent brush to apply whatever style we want that is effectively part of the accent. And you can see on the hover, for example, if you look at the hover, we make use of the hover overlay. And that hover overlay is here, which is again using accent primary with an opacity. And again, through magic, this ends up getting replaced from the primary with the themed color, or rather the AccentKind color, maintaining all of the opacity values and everything else and just replacing the color. You'll see this used more now as I go through and style the rest of the library, how this is used, but that's a quick overview of just this awesomeness that is now accents. That's solved in the way I wanted to. You'll see I've also added this style classes, which is a requirement we're going to have to do. So when you now have a library and you want to consume the prototype theme, we originally just had to have this one prototype theme. There's now, in this example Avalonia Theme Lab main project, a hint here. Well, not a hint, it's literally telling you, you also need to do this include. So it's just a 2-line include. And this isn't strictly needed, but if you don't do this, and then you go to make a main window here, which is full of our examples, then the IntelliSense in here wouldn't find these classes. So accent, for example, wouldn't be found. So it's purely for a XAML IntelliSense reason we need to add this. This class is auto-generated. So if we go into here, this is our comments just explaining how it works. And all we have to do is tag a XAML file that is a styles XAML and put this exact statement. So begin generated and end generated. And then if we take a look at the example application here, you'll notice in main window, the thing I showed at the start, I've now just dumped in the buttons in various styles. And you'll notice this brand here. One of the things I wanted to prove was possible and usable was taking, say, this default theme and adding our own themes on top of it, so customizing that theme. This is what this example file currently does. We have a new one called brand theme that overrides the default theme, and then I have specifically added an accent brand to this. So you can see by changing a brand color what happens, and then I've made the darker and lighter shades, and then made this little helper function to change the hue saturation. So again, just an example of how to customize the theme easily. This class I've added, which is just a way to have our brand controls here show up at design time in this styles file. And this styles file is all about showing you, for example, a hero is the new brand specific class and color that can still then make use of this .kind. So this is where we have our custom brand. This is like you creating your own theme. You can still use this .kind to change all of these to different styles. So you can see these three are defined by our custom brand theme and through this brand shade. So this shade here is what's made these extra 2 brushes, which show up as warning and destructive, for example. So if you want to understand how to use this theme before I've finished and made official documentation, this top level one is kind of the example of what you need to do. It's the bare bones of include the prototype theme, the classes here. We've added our own brand controls styling on top, which is this file here. We've done this just to allow this design time to work. And then this is really the actual override of the theme, where we've made our own theme, specified one color, and then a few offsets via a little helper method. And the main window is then just dumping a bunch of example UI in, so we can actually see the brand theming as well as the stock theme. So this is all the stock prototype theme. And then where it says brand, it's our custom brand colors. And again, the main thing I've tried to do here is make sure that every step of the way we come to a point where we would end up inflating our XAML for no reason, or having more complicated steps than are required, such as constantly changing accent names and bindings, that we find smart ways like this to be able to just do IntelliSense theme, accent brush, and the type of brush, but not specifying the color, which we call the kind of accent. So now every control can have that one very simple rule. If it's an accent, these are the things I want to apply the accent to, and that's it, that's everywhere. And then from that, we get complete customizable accents anywhere that can also be changed with a single change here. So destructive, then changes the accent success to destructive, things like that. The one thing I might have to think of here is data binding when we come to do MVVM. I'll probably need to find a way, although I think we could probably already do binding to something, and this would resolve to a kind. So to be honest, I think it will already work, but until we come to do that in real world, we'll obviously consider that. Now, the next thing on my agenda is I've spotted this, which is again legacy from the Avalonia original documentation for Avalonia 11. This is basically a style. This was fluenttheme.xaml originally, which then has this style, which if you then go in controls, we have this kind of hand-wired prototype controls, which I'm sure if you've ever made custom controls before, you'll remember this. Every time we were making a custom button or style, we have to remember to come in here, paste in the new control, and keep all this in sync. This is absolutely definitely not going to be needed. So this is a handwritten file that can go out of sync. For example, if I remove the button spinner from here and compile, nothing is going to crash. It's a complete silent error. So now we've added that, forgot to do something, and then if we come to button spinner, it's probably going to remember all the settings for now. In fact, that is going to work in here because we've defined the prototype theme. But when we come to use that in here, I would say, there you go. It now fails when you are in an actual application. That's a complete silent failure. And that's from us basically forgetting to add a value in here, which is going to become incredibly easy to forget. So anywhere like that, I want to make use of my Roslyn analyzers, source generators, to automate things so they can't go out of sync. So that's my next goal. But that's where we're up to. This has been quite a large task. Again, as always, you can look in GitHub. You can't see the source generator, which has been majority of this work to get this magic of effectively this thing here, the theme generating all of these new brand accents. But you can see the YouTube changes from today, which has been wiring in them finally. All of the, you can see how many iterations I went through just on this, but wiring in all of these with the new stuff. So again, the reason I'm not going through all this, look at how many commits I've done just today on just this side, the Avalonia front end, let alone the back end. I don't want to give too much guide on this until I'm happy with the structure and the flow, because this is a constantly evolving theme library, but I think this is a big step now. We have accents, I'm happy with them. They could not be simpler to define in XAML, which is what we want. There's no things to try and remember. If you want to add a new kind, then you can. This is fully extensible. So you can add your own custom colors or hints to applications. And after that, we need to work through some of these. I think the next one I spotted as well was this, for example. These buttons now need to be restyled to correctly put this accent border, which we've also, I'm getting rid of the dotted dash border for now and going to the new accent styles here for now. So I'll go ahead and work my way down all these controls as I am doing. And as I work down the controls, if I find things that I don't like, such as this that needs to move out, then I do it as I go. So I'll continue grinding. If you have any suggestions, things you want to see in the theme library as we're going, definitely let me know. But so far we have auto-generated themes. We have IntelliSense in all of the XAML now. We've cleaned up the physical structures so far. We have accents. We have icon libraries. I know we need probably localization at some point in here. But again, anything else you might want to see, definitely let me know. So that's it for this one, guys. I'll probably catch you next week.